Did you ever hear the story of Minnie the Moocher? She was bad. She was bad and she was mean. Oh, but she was a little angel child compared to this babe I'm gonna sing about. You ever hear about that red-headed woman from St. Louis? I'm gonna stay away from Dynamite. Oh, but she was a cream puff Jackson compared to this chick I'm gonna sing about. Her name was Porterhouse Lucy, the black market steak. Porterhouse Lucy, Lord, the trouble she'd make. I don't like to say this about a gal, but Lucy's mother sure was a cow. Now she drove up to the butcher's in a limousine. It was 10 foot long and painted Kelly green. Her chauffeur was a tough guy from the slaughter yards. He went around ripping up ration cards. That's the kind of people Lucy associated with. Why, she had an autograph album with nothing but Al Capone's signatures in it, which gives you an idea. She glides up to the butcher named of Hawkflash Jones. He's standing at the counter cutting the fat off some bones. Takes a look at Lucy and he starts to shake, 'cause it's Porterhouse Lucy, that black market steak. Porterhouse Lucy, the black market steak. Porterhouse Lucy, Lord, the trouble she'd make. You ever try to make a silk purse out of a sow's rear? It don't work. Now Lucy cuddles up and puts her arms around him, tickles him and tells him how she's glad she's found him, kisses him, but you ain't licensed, Jones, he yells. License, schmicense, I'm a steak that sells. Porterhouse Lucy, the black market steak. Porterhouse Lucy, Lord, the trouble she'd make. Well, we leave out a couple verses in here, but the idea is Lucy gets herself a new middleman to keep herself in the style to which a decent steak ain't accustomed. And Jonesy is licking the only chops he has left in the showcase, thinking of the price he's going to get for, when in walks a citizen of the neighborhood, Temptation Smith. Temptation is steak mad. And he says, "Steak! Steak! I gotta have me red corpuscles. I dreams of it. I wakes up in the middle of the night and I talks to myself. And I says to myself, it's a conspiracy. There must be a cow left over from the last war. Look at me fingers. No calcium. That's what I need. Calcium. Calcium with fried onions." Now Lucy puts a smile on, goes to work on temptation. Says, "How about me, honey? I mean for your calcification. I'm sweeter than sugar, and I'm nicer than cake. I'm Porterhouse Lucy, that black market steak." Temptation looks around to see if Uncle Sam's eagle is watching, then whispers, "Porterhouse, ain't you illegal?" "Illegal, ill schmeagle," says Porterhouse Lucy. "The point is I'm rare, and I'm thick and I'm juicy. Porterhouse Lucy, the black market steak. Porterhouse Lucy, Lord, the trouble she'd make." "Well," says the butcher, and he fondles a cleaver. "Make up your mind, do you take her or leave her?" "I'll take her," says Smith, but just as he's reaching, up pops his conscience, and his conscience starts preaching. Temptation Smith, get your hands off that hussy. Look at that bootleg strut. Look at that national menace. Temptation Smith, stop playing with that unconfiscated Porterhouse. She's strictly poison. Her kind ought to be feeding Hitler's army. You got a date with Mary 4 Freedoms this very evening. Besides that, you ain't that hungry. Now here's the end of my story, and the moral is plain. You can't ride to victory on a gravy train. You can ration your sugar, you can cut your cake, but stay away from Porterhouse Lucy, that black market steak.